Consider supporting Sonicguru Productions on Patreon for just $1 a month. Link below in the description.
Well, still sticking on to the 60th anniversary, we had an interview with the Yakuza developer. And he expressed interest on working on the Sonic IP. Now, I'm not an expert on Yakuza games. I've played 3 of them. There are 8 in total. 9 if you include Dead Souls. 12 if you include the ones that weren't released.
I've never played them.
3 feudal Japan versions of Yakuza. Not too sure why they weren't released, because we had Dynasty Warriors, well, whatever. Yakuza is basically kind of a modern setting of the streets of Kamurocho. I can't remember where that is in Japan. And like the game says about the Yakuza, like the Mafia, and it's basically a beat-em-up RPG. So you get into like a Final Fantasy style setting, beat the shit out of everyone, gain some experience and level up your skills, get your health up, and go to stores, buy items. And it's a really engrossing story. I played the first one on PS2. I didn't think much of it at the time. I was like, Yakuza? Why not? It's like $5. Why not?
Yeah, that's weird. It started...
And I sat down and played the entire game in 2 sittings. I could not put it the fuck down. I have a lot more free time.
You're on something if you're going to play it all the way through. If you have that,
it is a really good game. Plus, it was English dubbed as well. I've got the remake on PS4. There's no English dub, and I want to point this out now to all those who's going to come around and say, "Why are you listening to the English dub? Why is it Japanese only? Just read the subtitles." If you don't want to listen to the English dub, go to the fucking options and change the goddamn settings. The Japanese dub is still in there, you cretins, okay? I'm sick and tired of people bitching about the English dub. If you don't want to listen to the English dub, listen to the Japanese dub. No one's forcing you to fucking do it. Especially you, Sam.
Yeah.
Especially you.
Yeah.
I know you're a troll.
Context.
I know you're a troll. You're probably watching this. You're going to comment on something and you're going to get freaking deleted. It was fun at first, but honestly, after 50, 60 freaking blocks on my streams, you're done. I am not kidding. Watch the Sonic and the Secret Rings playthrough and Black Knight playthrough, I think, as well. And just, Christ.
Yeah, he was on that. Yeah, just for, again, context for everyone, it was just one user who just kept coming back on over and over again, just constantly saying, why are you listening to the Japanese dub? That's the version, blah. And it got to a point where I was even modded to make sure the fucker didn't turn up on the screen. So that's how much of a nuisance it was.
Yeah, I was like, don't feed the trolls and everything, but it's like, even when I express my interest, like I prefer to actually watch and hear in English, because I'm there and not paying attention to 1/3 of the screen. It's amazing how many times I have to rewind Food Wars just to see what's cooking. And Food Wars is a really good anime, so check it out. But anyway,
so
Yakuza, great beat 'em up series, very engaging story. It is a great fucking story. I played Yakuza 1, I'm playing Yakuza Kiwami, which is going to be a remake, so what's the point? Yakuza 4, and I own Yakuza 6. I still need to get Like a Dragon, which I hear is freaking excellent and so over the top. It's like you died and gone to a strange heaven. But anyway, saying that, the guy who directs those games, these beat-em-up RPGs about the Japanese mafia, wants to work on Sonic.
Well, he gave it interest. He literally, if I was given a choice,
even then, that is a nugget of like, why not? I expressed interest in a lot of many things. But quoting from the Sonic Stadium, when asked which Sega IP to work on, you have a chance, he said it's Sonic, because after all, when you hear Sega, you think Sonic, which is why I ranted on about people saying stop waiting for the next Sonic news and the Sega anniversary. I'd like to get involved at once at least. If he were to do it, he wouldn't do it Sonic as it was, but instead I would make a completely different Sonic. Well-known work on numerous IPs, including Monkey Ball and Yakuza. He's been involved with a lot of
that?
IPs since its
I made
inception.
one game as a colourful cartoon game.
Yeah,
with Monkey
and steadily moved up from chief designer to director and finally producer for later titles.
Yeah.
All I can think of right now, I'm trying to think of every aspect of Yakuza and Sonic and see which one mirrors each other. Very little.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, him saying, obviously, he admits right up saying, I would like to do one of these games, but also it would be so different anyway. I don't know, the version of what we consider Sonic now, which is always up in the air. It's like, it's a hard thing to think of. I mean, that's
the same thing they said with Sonic Boom, and look how fucking that turned out.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, that's the thing you go back to is, and basically, well, if we're going with changing Sonic for a different way, it's like Boom was basically that. It was taking what was essentially a platformer and then turning it into more of a sort of exploratory beat 'em up type platformer.
Which Sega couldn't help but freaking meddle with it so many times. Like, we want something that looks like Sonic, but appeals to more Western audience and doesn't play like Sonic. Okay, here's this, and this.
I mean,
those slides are what you have.
Yeah,
we don't like it. Make it more.
Yeah,
like Sonic.
The problem with that is that they
didn't want a Sonic style game, but they forced it into a Sonic style game with some extras.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with that is, they just didn't give the various team members enough time to really figure out what type of game mechanic they wanted to do or really hum down the style, because it was essentially one brand idea they gave to a bunch of people. It's like, do your own thing, and they just all did basically completely different animals.
At least Zanzaro had an idea of what to do. Eventually got it down with Iron Eyes.
Yeah. So again, that's the thing I think of when he says, like, what type of Sonic game he would try and do, which, if it is going to be, again, if we go by Yakuza standard, if it's going to be the sort of semi, I wouldn't say open world, but kind of like you're in certain areas.
It is. It's like one big section of a city. And that's... And that's the two aspects I can think of that will be mirrored. One of it you actually will go, yes, please, all of this. Go away. First of all, the open world aspect, I think you can actually... It's more condensed, not like Sonic 06, where it's more wide open. Like, look how big this world is. What's in it? Fuck all. Sonic Adventure and Sonic Elite is a lot more condensed. So that open world aspect and go into different areas could still exist in the Sonic game. Because Yakuza even have the stars. So I'm thinking, if you're going to limit it to like one big open world, but with different branching areas, I say focus it entirely on Angel Island.
Exactly. Yeah, I was going to say, like, you set it on an island and have each of the sections be their own areas, whatever you want. Sonic themed type places.
Yeah, like. Also, I just remembered Sonic Rush Adventure also had everything on one island. Yeah, you could explore out, but Southern Island was the main hub.
Yeah, they did.
So, the other thing is the RPG.
I mean, it's funny.
What I say, the other thing is the RPG element, the skills, which you really want back.
Well, that's the thing. I say this is a skill thing. I think this is what I always bang about. Is like, as I said, they started with in Secret Rings, then Black Knight, and then more or less perfected it by Generations, which is like, here's a bunch of different abilities and items you can use for replaying certain levels, which I say...
Tangentially in Unleashed as well regarding the Werehog, but you had to keep upgrading the freaking thing to get all the moves and skills with the Werehog.
Yeah, that's when I think that's like the bad version of it, which is basically you really have all the skills. It's just make it a little better, a little stronger, and that's to me that's kind of like the worst.
The combos, those new combos every time you leveled up, and it's like, and the combos when you pull them off, freaking hell! Like you could spin it in the air, you make your hands big and slam them down like hammers.
Yeah, I know.
That was great, but you had to level up 99 times to get every single one. That's the downside. Also, Black Knight was pretty bad as well.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's the bad side of those type of mechanics. Is it was basically you can do these abilities. I mean, even Doom Eternal is like the majority of the stuff you can already do, But of course, you have like crystals you can upgrade, so you can get more ammo, larger health, longer periods of shield, all that stuff. And again, it's like in small doses that's fine, but it's ideally you want to feel like I'm getting better at the game using what's already there, what the mechanics are, and me getting better at it as well. Sometimes it can work, and sometimes it feels like it's arbitrarily making you shitter before you get better. And like I said, I don't particularly with, as you said, it's like I would rather go through the skill-less thing, as I said, from Generations, keep that as the basis of, here are the different abilities, retry these levels with different mechanics and whatever.
I guess he also came with not good, but Forces had it as well with the avatars and the Wispons.
Yeah,
not good. Here's 5 different red burst Wispons. Oh, this one doesn't have anything. This one gives you 10 rings at the start. This one makes you go faster when you land.
Yeah, and there's also like the animals again. Like one of them, like the rabbit can jump higher or whatever. Sorry, my memory's a bit.
The rabbit can double jump. Hedgehog. And I think the bird can double jump. The rabbit, I can't remember, does what.
Yeah, but that was the idea.
And the wolf can attract rings.
Yeah. But like I said, it was kind of, again, that's like a very weak down version of those type of elements, really.
At least it provided, replay values. Like, okay, let's try it with this character, with this Wispon, and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
The way they could actually attribute it to Yakuza is that you have the skills already, but you just kind of increase them, which is not the best ones, but be interesting. But one thing they could bring back, and they need to bring back, and I've been asking to bring it back for so many years now.
Here we go.
Extra characters.
Oh, I thought you were going to go straight from the show.
It is just the main 4. Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I see it anyway. It's basically they're the main principal characters anyway. They've kind of been like that for the last few years.
Yeah. Because Yakuza Kiwami has 4 fighting styles, so why not have 4 characters with distinct fighting styles? I can't remember what they were though. One's kind of neutral, one's speedy, one's heavy. I can't remember the 4th one.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played any of the Yakuza games, but I know of them. And what I've seen of the games, I mean, one aspect is also that you're able to pick up items and use them against enemies, and which again, I think Boom tried to do something like that. You were able to.
Yes and no. You could pick up certain items, or also pick up the enemies and throw them, which is what I did every single time, because it's like, hey, you can pick up this enemy and swing them around. Right, off you go. Bye-bye. Not dealing with your shit.
Yeah, not doing a double combo for the 50th time.
Yeah. And even then trying to get them all to do the fucking Fury attack, which is just rapid fire. Like, it's impossible. The AI trying to do combat is just impossible.
Yeah.
The only time to get it right is when you have to use the freaking tethers. That's it.
Yeah. Again, that's something I would have wished Boom had capitalized on a lot more of the tether system, which again, I mean, if they're doing this as like I said, if they're going to go down this route of it being a beat-em-up type games, I mean, first of all, you have to make sure there's enough variety. And as you said, if you're going to have Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, they've got to have different abilities, different strengths and weaknesses, but also the enemies they could use, and maybe you could do combo systems more in the kin. Again, I'm starting to think more like Devil May Cry, like pulling off stylistic, ridiculous moves.
Yeah, you need a spectacle in it.
Yeah. Because again, that's one aspect I'm thinking, because you're going to have battle arenas in the game, and particularly if they're going to take place in, say, the inhabited areas. I mean, you want to make sure that they can be both explorative, but also it's like it isn't. Again, the worst case scenario is that every time they go in, it does the RPG thing, which is like, we walk down this area, oh, we meet random enemy, now we're in the the dimension zone where it all takes place in.
Yeah, it's more like I guess the closest one I can think of is 12 or 13, 13, where you have enemies on the open field, and if they see you, they go towards you.
Yeah.
Or if they know they're shit out of luck, they try to run away.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be interesting.
Only one of a few games actually do that. Earthbound's the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Actually, it has a mechanic basically say, you're too strong for this enemy, instant win.
Yeah, but like I said, I think if they were to do that along with like exploration things, like what type of thing would we do in Sonic's world? Like, how would we do the exploration? Would it be just explore this town a bit more, the jungle levels, or should we add mini games in there? Like, I think they do have arcade games in the Yakuza games, don't they?
Oh yeah, does it? Yeah, you got pachinko in it.
Yeah, oh, good.
No idea what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm getting ideas now. No one freaking steal these. I'll know.
But here's the thing: if any of the shit turns up in the game he wants to make, I mean, first of all, we were on the same ball, mate. So, all right.
Right. First of all, Angel Island is the hub. You explore there.
Yeah.
If you want to keep a certain Sonic essence, use the tornado to fly down to South Island or Chemical Plant
Yeah.
or whatever, and
Yeah.
there's your Sonic style level. Still explorative, but it has an angle. Think Spyro.
Yeah.
But Angel Island is the main hub, so you can explore around there, find grind some badniks like left behind, like here's some Rhinobots or anything.
Yeah.
Like Chaos Emeralds, possibly part of the plot.
Hmm.
This is completely taken over my Sonic Freedom idea.
I mean, I was going to say, like, if we're going to have a hub world, I mean, one thing I would sort of the one I draw to is maybe like in Lego Dimensions, like the way how that hub world is, where they're all stuck together. Obviously, you have Green Hill Zone, you have Carnival Plant, Chemical Plant, and obviously the Carnival Zone, and they're all near each other. But again, that type of thing of having areas, and again, you can do side missions. There are little things you can do in them, or do mini tasks.
Yeah. I'd rather have that of amalgamation because it would make sense in context.
No, but I'm just saying that type of thing.
Right now, the ideas we have for this right now is more a kind of condensed, but yet pretty open world like Unleashed and Adventure, with RPG elements, with RPG elements from Generations, Secret Rings, and arguably Chronicles.
Yeah.
Bunch of playable characters like Chronicles, and exploration combat like Boom, but a lot more refined and unique to each character.
Yeah, what to do with them.
Again, we've got ideas on this. I'm trademarking the ideas. You can't fucking stop me.
Well, I was gonna say, what narrative context would you try and shove them in there? What type of conceit would you ideally have for this type of thing?
I don't know, to be honest. Like, there had to be a reason why they're stuck on Angel Island.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just redo the metal virus from the comics.
Yeah, well, you never know. I mean, if they're going to take anything from any source, I mean, who's to say that that's not an idea they couldn't just do their own take on it?
Well, maybe it's just easier to actually have a central floating hub rather than say, "Oh, where's Sonic? Well, it's on the other side of the planet. How long will we get here? About 5 seconds. Nah, too late."
I mean, I would try and think of, definitely you'd want the action to take place in, like you said, a central hub world that you can do a lot of the stuff, and maybe have one or two extra ones you could, as you say, use the tornado to head over and explore things. Yeah. I mean, obviously, people say, like, it'd be funny because obviously him saying with the Yakuzas being these story-driven things, people always joke that, well, Sonic games don't have stories or they're really shit at them. It's like, you can make them entertaining, and you said many times, you said Unleashed probably had the best narrative in all the games in terms of its central theme about light and dark, good and evil.
Yeah,
and
contrast. The central theme was contrast.
Exactly. So I think you could do. I mean, all the games try to have the power of friendship in them, but let's be honest, they've always tried to have teamwork and all that crap and all that stuff, which we see done to death. And
yeah,
you could argue Boom was trying. That's probably what Boom was trying to do the most, was to have these groups.
Fail. I am gonna rewrite that fucking story. I really am. I kept hearing like, oh, Sonic learning how to be a team player. It's like, then why is he part of a team to begin with?
Yeah. I think it would be more interesting, again, because we know in the adventure games, everybody had their own, the way their games used to be. Everybody had their own story that interlinked at the end. And I wouldn't want to do it for this type of game because I think you could do it for this type of game because if they're all in one area, they could interact more with each other.
Yeah, Yakuza did something similar, but it had one single timeline, but different characters happened during that time until the very end.
Yeah.
So you get all this Akiyama stuff at the beginning. Then you become Majin. I think it's Majin Man or someone else. Much later, like maybe a week later, and then you're Kazuma Kiryu, and it's like after the events of Akiyama. So you could do that. Like, okay, you can choose between these you switch between these characters, but the main story narrative doesn't change until you've done the specific character story bits. And at the end, you can switch between them.
Yeah.
So I would probably do that. And we're getting way off topic on this because like it's
But-
such an exciting prospect.
I know. I mean, first of all, we don't know whether this is going to be for real. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
it's like, I would like to do this. I mean, we've heard Yakuza say, I like to do an adventure remake, but we still don't know if that's going to be true or not. So it's all up in the air. And that's another aspect is obviously, would Sonic Team allow him to do this? I mean, obviously, Sega and Sonic Team are together the same thing, but it's like, would they allow this? I mean, I've always imagined if they have another developer working a game like, say, Sumo Digital, where they do those Sonic racing games, they're more sort of the overseers of like how the characters look or represented, or if they need a vehicle, oh, we'll design one for you type thing. And they go off and make the brunt of the game, the design aspects and all that.
Well, who's to tell, really? Because with all the rumors of the mandates and everything, and they can't show emotion, they can't do this. Sonic must always win. Because Sonic must always win. He's the hero.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think obviously if he wants to do a story, it's like, look, I have to put these characters probably through hell if I'm going to make the narrative a point, because it's like you can't just have them all be perfect. Because isn't that the argument that people often say about certain medias where it's always like characters are too perfect and too amazing? Why should I care about them? And
yeah,
I've always felt with Sonic particularly, like we've said this before, it's like even in Forces, for as much as that game, as you said, the biggest problem is they put him in prison for a while, it doesn't really affect him. But again, it's like even then, it's like he still doesn't know how to deal with some of the problems. He can still be a cocky ass. The first time he meets really Infinite, and he does the whole thing of, I was like, "What's your name? What are your plans? What's your favorite food?" and all that stuff. Which is like, yeah, that's fine. That's totally him. But still, you can have him trip up. You can still have characters getting into their own issues and whatever. So
yeah, you say there's stakes, but you didn't present it any.
no,
And Emma takes over the world in a freaking text scroll.
I know that that's bullshit. That is true bullshit. So again, if he was to do a type of game like if we were suggesting, if it's type of do, I think there's a lot they would have to change. This would be, again, what Boom was trying to do. This is the big shakeup. This is where we get to experiment and do all kinds of crazy stuff you would never see in a mainline series, if we're going to call it that.
Yeah. I mean, back in 2006, you fucking killed Sonic.
Yeah, well, technically, I mean, you killed him off in that 2005 tech demo, which basically was if you think about it, that's technically a spoiler, but, at least in that one, he just comes back to life instantly through chaos power, not through other means we won't go into.
It was still chaos power.
I know. It didn't need a woman on the lifts, really. We didn't need that aspect.
I need to reanalyze the story because apparently she may have been a bit more than that. But at the same time,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, that may be a theory down the line. Not too sure about that one yet.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's not going to stop anyone from thinking, yeah, you try to have a story where Sonic, almost Sonic has a human girlfriend, which is like, wasn't that one of the ideas you scrapped because that was too weird and silly?
And at the same time, you're all thumbs up for Maria and Shadow.
Oh, that's shipping for you.
This is okay. That is fucking gross.
Oh, dude.
Why? Because that is cute and that is weird.
Yeah, there you go. But like I said, I think my thing, I would say, like, I think the big line I think of Dr. Cross is, would he have to redesign the characters? Would they have to have a different look?
No.
Because that's the thing.
Give Sonic back his long fucking quills and fine.